The video that is about to follow was originally a short 5-minute video on how to use an amateur radio repeater. Having received some bad news this weekend, I decided to play the full conversation over the repeater as a tribute to my friend Jim GM6JUU, who passed, and he was a friend gained through amateur radio. He's not in this video, but this video demonstrates some of the friendships that are generated via this hobby of ours. Rest in peace, Jim. Welcome to Desmond's Thunders. This week we're going to be using that aerial to listen and take part in a 2-metre conversation via repeater. Non-radio amateurs might want to go and look at some cat videos about now. Mike 0 X-ray Delta Bravo portable MM0XDB calling through GB3BI.
MM0XDB stroke portable 2M0IBO. Do you want to chat, David, or do you want to try to find someone else? 2M0IBO standing by.
No, that's no problem, John. If there's anybody else about, they'll join us. I've spoken to one or two this morning. 40 metres, 20 metres are a mess here, but I'll try again this evening. So I came back onto 2. Thought I'd give a shout through the repeater first, and yeah, no problem. From MM0XDB.
MM0XDB, strong football 2M0IBO. Yeah, okay, David. I thought I'd just give you the option. It's normally me that you catch. There you go. Radio's been quiet. I've had the radio scan. I've just been on the computer. Had the radio scan and heard nothing until you called out. So it's nice to hear your dulcet tones coming through the guy. And yeah, that's been about it really. A little bit sporadic on 6, David. I didn't shout at you because there was only one station in the UK. It was a Mike Whiskey station. And I did call out before I went out this morning. There was a bit I did call out a few times, but no, nothing here. And looking at the DX map, no, there's a G4. He's working in Greece. And actually there's very little now. Most of it's concentrated in America, which is sporadic, and I think the blue one is yeah, meter scatter. There's quite a bit of meter scatter going on that part of Northern America, all the way down to I think that's the Caribbean islands, and so just America really. So next to no sporadic in Europe at all at the moment. We may come back later. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the weather. Not as nice as it has been, but it's 12 degrees here. It's not too bad. MM0XDB 2M0IBO.
Yeah, MM0XDB returning. Weather's fine here. You want to get yourself along the road. We're 14 degrees and blue skies, so you keep the weather along there in Elgin that you've got. HI. Yeah, I was speaking to Stuart GTU earlier. I haven't heard anything else on 2 metres, so I thought I'd give a call out just after I'd finished playing on the HF bands, and just to let you know, I hope you've no objections. I can easily switch off. You're being recorded for use on one of my videos from MM0XDB portable.
MM0XDB stroke portable 2M0IBO. No, I don't mind. Anyone can hear my dulcet tones. So when I do hear recordings of myself, I just don't like the sound of my voice at all. But I don't think it's ever going to change, to be honest, David. So there you go. 14 degrees. And it's overcast these days, David. You see sun coming through. I was out in the car earlier. It was over at Bucky. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's warm enough. And I was out with a dog, and it was pretty warm, to be honest, walking around the woods with a dog. This wood's go to? Birkenhill Woods. I've been up here 11 years now. When I first came up, you get down the old railway line from Elgin to towards Longbourn. You come down there, and then I went all the way down, and there's a farmer's field. We cut across the farmer's field. There was nothing in it. Cut across the farmer's field, and there's a gate. Both sides of this gate, there was just pine trees everywhere, you know, and just a skinny little path. Now they've all gone. It's been hacked right down. And when I got out of the car this morning with the dog and started going through, there's the tree cutting machines ready to take another lot. There won't be any woods left. It will just be called Birkenhill Field, I suppose. Shame, but I suppose that's progress really. MM0XDV, portable 2M0IBO.
Yeah, MM0XDV portable returning. Yeah, no problem, John. Yes, but what people have got to remember is pine trees are a cash crop, and that's why they're planted. They're not natural. We're at the edge of Colvin Forest, which of course is pine trees, but thankfully we're surrounded by birch and other things. The pine's all gone, and the natural trees are taking over in this part of the wood. But it's one of those things. I was discussing with a person on Facebook the other day, reference you know, the fires that there've been, and they were going on about the wildlife, etc. And one of them, oh, my man's out there now, he's the manager, blah blah blah, the fire's this, the fire's that. And they got a little bit upset when I pointed out that the trees weren't there for the wildlife, and the only reason that her man had a job was it was a cash crop. But there you go. Over to you. 2M0IBO MM0XDV portable.
Yeah, MM0XDV stroke portable 2M0IBO return. Certainly looks different in places where they hacked it down. The road from Inchbury towards Rothes used to be all pine trees down one side of the road. The railway side, they've gone now. They've still got the rhododendrons. They always look nice. They'll be coming into bloom round about now, I guess. And yeah, I prefer the deciduous woods, to be honest, over taller. But the pine trees, don't get me wrong, they're nice enough, but just like well, plantations, aren't they? As I say, just crop. Not my sort of wood. I prefer the other side. Like the oak woods. I like to walk through the oak woods and stuff like that. So there you go. So maybe a bit of HF, that's all right. No HF today. I've spent the radio plugged into 6 metres, to be honest. So no HF, just hoping to get something on 6. But that's not happening at the moment. Had a chat with Bruce last night on MG. It's an FD here, and it's never an 8. It's either a 3 or a 5. Sometimes it splits between the two of them. And Bruce, they've had a chap called Oliver, who's been calling in for the last few days from the Faroe Islands into MG. I've not heard him myself, because that'd be nice for me to get that call sign in the logbook. But we shall see. But I've not heard anything today at all, David, to be honest. So, not up to much. So I guess, well, you're still in the same place you were yesterday. I guess so. And I wonder if you're staying there or you're going to move on. Or just stay there and then back to the home QTH. MM0XDV portable. Oh, and where was Stuart? He wasn't waiting at Sainsbury's, was he? MM0XDV stroke portable 2M0IBO.
No, negative, John. How's my audio? Is it solid or is it dropping out? Because I'm trying to decide whether this is you or the repeater. You're not quite as bad as that guy that used to make his living on the telly, but you're dropping out every second or so, enough that the repeater stops transmitting. It doesn't time out, but it sort of stops. No, Stuart was at his home QTH in Nen from MM0XDV.
I just heard something. I don't know if someone else is there, David. Is there a break station?
There is indeed, John. GM0GTU mobile. My ears were burning just then.
Yeah, good afternoon, Stuart. Speaking of devil, we should appear. Let me guess, you're either going to Sainsbury's or you're at the Maggot, or you will be shortly. Over to you, Stuart, from 2M0IBO in the group.
Yeah, good afternoon, John, and actually planted to prevent erosion, because the whole of that coast was disappearing, was getting eroded away by the tide, by the current. Colburn village disappeared completely, no longer exists, buried under a load of sand. So that's the reason that Colburn Forest was planted. I'll pass it around to David. From GM6JUU Mobile in the group.
Yeah, MM0XDB portable in the group. It's I did know that as well. So thank you for the correction. I did know that. But in general, pine these days, is a cash crop. I had forgotten that Colburn was one of the exceptions. It's it's good to hear you again, Stuart. And I didn't hear any calls from you, but then I did have the volume right down. I was trying to get some life out of HF, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And just around saying to John about 6 meters. I was mentioning earlier my mount for that has broken, so I haven't been able to put the aerial up, and I haven't bothered jury rigging anything because I didn't expect there to be much yet. It's a bit early. So round to you, John. 2M0 IBO MM0XDB portable.
MM0XDB stroke portable 2M0 IBO. Well, you didn't mention if I was dropping out or not, David, so I'm hoping it's your end. I think everybody's the same hopes as someone else's end. I know Stuart's noticed I'm cutting in and out or whatever. Repeater's an S5 today. Normally it's a little bit up, about 7, sometimes 8. So I don't know. And I didn't know about Colburn village going with the sand and everything. I can't remember where I was reading that. But there you go. Sorry, Stuart, I did hear somebody call on 575, but it was distorted this end. So I don't know if that was you earlier or not, to be honest. And no, I've been in here about 10 minutes, to be honest, at the radio scanning, and then heard David calling out. So there you go. But anyway, I trust you well, Stuart. Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Out with the dog earlier. It's pretty warm. It's 12 degrees over here at the moment, but it's warm enough walking around what's left of the woods with the dog. Here you go, Stuart. GM0GTU mobile. It is 2M0 IBO in the group.
Yeah, okay, John. I was actually at the recycling centre in Forres. Wasn't such a good day today. We came away with a little collapsible table for Katrina's mum. She was looking for one, and that's about all. It's very, very rare. And I've just been reminded a nice big ornamental bowl. It's not often that we come away from there empty-handed, to be honest. You were talking about the old railway line there, up at Linkwood. Well, I know that pretty well. As you know, I used to do quite a bit of shooting there. I had the vermin, me and another chap had the vermin shooting on Linkwood Estates before he went and spoiled it for everybody. The other guy, after Fox, and he went charging through a field full of young cows that were pregnant cows, that were due to calve any time, and the estate manager went absolutely mad when he found out about it, and that was it. He stopped everybody from shooting on there. So I do know that area quite well. Anyway, that's us arrived home. Got shopping to unload. I'll probably go through the shack after. I've still not got that big wheel antenna up yet, but in about half an hour's time I'm going to get the welder out and the grinder, and I've got a couple of bits of angle iron that I want to weld onto a big vertical post that's concreted into the ground, and then I want to drill some holes for some U-bolts, and then I'll get one of my 40-foot Raycal masts. I'll get one of those up with the big wheel on top of it. So I should have that by tomorrow, and hopefully there will be a bit of sporadic about. If not, I'll try JT65 or some meteor scatter. Outside of the meteor showers, random meteors there's usually more of them around in the morning. Anyway, but we must try that. Once I get the antenna up, we must try a contact on 6. See if we can just do it direct. Okay, I wish you both best regards for now, and I'm sure I'll catch you both fairly soon. GM0GTU in the group. Round to you, David. I'll be clear after both your finals.
Yeah, there's always one in a group that spoils it for others. It's a shame about that. The big wheel antenna, yeah, I've been hearing good things about them on 2 meters and have been meaning to try one but never got round to it. But I wish you 7.3 and pass it quickly round to John from MM0XDB.
Yeah, 73 Stuart, nice to work you again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't catch you before. And I wonder if you've sorted out your vertical, tri-band vertical with the modification for 6. Catch me another time on that, Stuart. 73. Don't want to hold you up. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, MM0XDB returning. Afraid to say it's you that's dropping out, John. You're perfectly readable, just every few seconds it drops off. Stuart was holding it, and as far as I know I am, but every now and again, as I say, every 4 to 6 seconds, from MM0XDB portable.
Yeah, MM0XDB stroke 4 to M0IVO. I don't know, David. I have to get the ladder out and have a look at the antenna. I don't really want to be taking you down at the moment, but maybe I'll have to do something else to see. I'll take the other one out and go and park up somewhere just to see if there's anything about. Okay, now, mate, I'll disappear off then if I keep cutting out, because it's not that good, is it? Right, I'll say something for you for the moment. You enjoy your weekend. Maybe catch you tomorrow after the news net. M0XDB stroke 4 to M0IVO. 73 for now.
Yeah, 7.3, John. Before you go, I wouldn't go looking at your antenna. I'd have a look at your microphone connections, both at the switch, give the switch a clean, and connections to the plug to the radio and on the radio itself. I don't think it's the antenna. I think it's more either a problem with the switch or problem somewhere with the connector, or the cable could even be broken somewhere along it, where and you just as you move about and talk and move your head or whatever, it's enough to break. But you're straight back whenever it's like it's every 4 to 6 seconds, and it's off and straight back on. You're not unintelligible because of it, but there's definitely something there. But I suspect it's in the mic rather than the antenna. Anyway, wish you 7.3, John, and we'll speak to you again soon. MM0XDB portable listening, and then once clear, going back to scanning the frequencies on 2 meters.
Alright, David, I'll have a look at the microphone. Is it still doing it now by any chance? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it did it once during that complete transmission.
Thank you, I'll open the microphone up and have a look inside it. 73, maybe catch you later. 10-0 IBO off and clear. See if I can sort me problems.
Yeah, no problem, John. Twice in that one. So it's it's consistent. Yeah, 7.3, MM0XDB now clear, and going back to scanning. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you got this far, well done. Bye for now. Please remember, take nothing but memories, leave nothing but tracks.